I don't think you're starting your new brand the right way. I'm going to talk about the 3 main essentials you guys need for your branding. So number 1, just know what a brand is. Before you even start your business, do you know what it stands for? Why is it going to stand out? Who are you catering to? Why should people care? Branding lives everywhere. It's represented through social media, packaging, websites, advertising, things you say about your business, the catchy songs and the phrases, the emotional connection that you get from a brand when you see it. It all needs to start with the story. Now, this is where your brand's mission statement, core values, everything you need to help understand what it's even about comes in. Understand what's going to make you stand out and your sole purpose as to why people should even care to buy your product or service. Once you have this, we can start moving on to number 2. So this is where you choose a memorable name. Just make sure it's something that accurately represents what you're looking for. All you want to aim for is just making this whole thing as visually easy to remember as possible. Once you have this, now you can start crafting your logo. So you can get into so much detail with this. Creating a strong, proper logo can take a long time. If this is your first business, I totally get it. Sometimes the cheapest, quickest route is the best way to just get started, but I highly suggest you consider upgrading in the future. So what do? You can find cheap designers online. There are a lot of logo makers. Just make sure it accurately represents your business and everything that you've come up with so far to this point. People get too crazy with the details and try and create some sort of artwork. You guys, it's supposed to be as simple as possible. Just remember that, as simple as possible. As simple as possible. So what you want now are 2 to 3 consistent colors that you're going to use throughout the rest of your brand. Consistency is everything in a strong brand. If Coca-Cola used green tomorrow, I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't know what it is. Now, how do you choose the right colors? I would start with color theory. Just quickly make a Google search, make a prompt on ChatGPT, whatever you got to do. Just try to understand what colors represent what and choose the right shade that accurately represents your business. Have a really good high contrast, right? Like 1 dark and 1 light color. Try not to go beyond 2 colors, guys, because then things get complicated and usually people mess it up all the time. What I would do is search up your competitors quickly on Google and just see what they're doing. Just try to stand out apart from them. You don't want to look the same, but you still want to kind of represent a similar tone vibe. But sometimes people can go a little bit too different, and then it gets a little hard to distinguish what your business is even about. So choosing your font. Guys, choose 1 to 2 fonts. If you choose 1, play around with the different weights. If you choose 2, make sure they complement each other. Find it on Google, search complementary font pairs, and you guys will see what works. Don't assume you know. People have done the research for you. It's all out there. Biggest mistake you can make, you guys, is choosing your favorite stuff. Don't choose purple because you like purple. Make it make sense. So from here, you can start with the website. And again, assuming this is a new business, it's okay to go the cheap route. So there are so many website platforms out there that help you do what you need to do quickly, like Squarespace and Wix, and there's all kinds of stuff. So everything you've written about your business, the core values and the customer promise and why people should even purchase your product or service, all of that gets dumped into the site. You can either get ChatGPT to kind of expand on it or just come up with it yourself and be authentic with it. Don't be too salesy. Try to get people to actually understand what you're aiming for here. So I would start with what's called the sitemap. This is just a breakdown of everything that's supposed to go into your website. So start with the navigation bar, what's going to go in there, how many pages, and break it down into sections and make quick notes about what exactly is going to go in there. You can quickly search on Google too what a sitemap is, and you can kind of follow the same structure. And it helps to understand where you're going with your website. Make sure you're using an appropriate font that's easily readable on screens, and you always want to think about the mobile version first. It's the most commonly used, so you guys think about what the user is going to experience through your website. Everything we talked about, your story, should be properly represented here. So give your customers a journey. You guys, let them actually experience something off what your website is going to communicate. And don't get too crazy with the site, you guys. People try to change the way that a website functions, and that's not the way to do it. Stay consistent with what already works. Don't break it. So when you choose a template, don't assume that you know what it's going to take to make it even more creative. Try to stay simple and don't get too crazy. You can now move on to the business cards, social media ads. So number 3, it's time to launch. So this is where you can put it all out there now. Just remember, consistency is key. I can't say it enough times, you guys. Consistency is key. This means with the imagery, even the tone of the way you speak about it. It can get pretty technical, you guys. And to have a strong company, a strong brand that people will remember, or people just visually see small aspects of your brand and they already have that feeling. Remember, you guys, just stay consistent, deliver on your brand promise. Give your customers that reason as to why they should even purchase into your product or service. I've actually been a part of starting up new company brands, and every time it's the same thing. People assume that all they need is the logo or sometimes just the website. So I wanted to put this message out there to help you guys that don't have the budget to be spending on designers and editors and copywriters. You guys can do it yourselves. So once you have the budget to invest in your business, invest in it. I know you guys have seen those pop-up shops that just kind of have the worst branding ever. And I know you're wondering how they're still up. They just never invested in the upgrade. So in the end, a cheap business will always look like a cheap business. If you guys have a different opinion, that's perfectly fine. Not everything I say is applicable to everybody. Everyone has a different process. Tell me how to improve it, and maybe you can help other people improve their brand. So stay tuned, subscribe. Thank you guys.